Hello my friends, Dr. Mandell here. If you're over 60, you've probably noticed it's getting harder to keep your strength, especially in your legs. Climbing stairs feels tougher, walking long distances takes more effort, and balance isn't what it used to be. But here's the truth most people don't realize. This isn't just aging, this is muscle wasting, known as sarcopenia, and it begins quietly around your 40s, accelerating after 60. The good news is you can stop it and even reverse it if you start eating one specific type of food the right way every single morning. After the age of 60, something subtle but deeply powerful begins happening inside your body, something most people never notice until it's too late. Your muscles, the very fibers that keep you walking, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, and living independently, begin to waste away quietly. It doesn't happen because you stopped working out or because you're getting lazy. It happens because your body's machinery for building and maintaining muscle becomes less efficient. The very same foods that once kept you strong no longer deliver the same results, and every year that goes by, that inefficiency deepens. This process is called sarcopenia, the gradual and natural loss of muscle mass that starts around your 40s and accelerates after 60. But the truth is, this natural decline doesn't have to happen. It's not a law of aging, it's a nutritional and hormonal imbalance that can be corrected with one strategic decision: what you eat first each morning. Eating the right kind of protein at the right time can literally decide whether your legs remain strong and mobile or whether they weaken with every passing month. When you wake up in the morning, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Your muscles are craving amino acids, the building blocks they use to repair and rebuild. If you skip breakfast or choose something light like toast, fruit, or coffee, your body remains in a catabolic state where it breaks down tissue for energy instead of building it up. Over time, that morning neglect adds up and your muscle fibers shrink, especially in the legs where most of your body's muscle mass resides. The reason protein is so critical right after waking is because your muscles are most sensitive to it then. They are literally waiting for a signal to start repairing themselves, and that signal comes from one specific nutrient: amino acids, particularly leucine. When you eat protein in the morning, you send a message to your body: preserve my strength, repair my muscles, keep me mobile. Without that message, your body interprets the morning as a fasting extension, and muscle breakdown continues silently through the day. Studies show that older adults who consume 25-30 grams of high-quality protein within 2 hours of waking have significantly better muscle retention and strength compared to those who eat most of their protein later in the day. That's because the first meal of the day sets the tone for your body's entire metabolic rhythm. When protein enters your bloodstream early, it triggers muscle protein synthesis, the process where your body repairs tiny tears and builds stronger muscle fibers. This early boost keeps your metabolism high, stabilizes your blood sugar, and maintains your lean body mass. But when you delay or skip protein, the muscle rebuilding process gets weaker and your body starts breaking down muscle for energy. That's the hidden reason why so many people over 60 feel weaker even though they eat regularly. It's not the amount of food, it's the timing and type of food that matter most. Think of your muscles as a bank account. Every time you eat high-quality protein, you're making a deposit that strengthens your foundation. Every time you skip or eat low-protein meals, you're making a withdrawal. After 60, your deposits need to be bigger and more frequent because your body's interest rate on muscle repair goes down. You simply don't use protein as efficiently as you once did. So to balance the equation, you must give your muscles more of what they need: protein, and particularly leucine-rich protein, first thing in the morning when they're most receptive. Foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, chicken breast, tofu, lentils, and cottage cheese aren't just meals, they're medicine for your muscles. Now imagine this: two people in their 60s with the same diet and activity level. One starts the day with a cup of coffee and a slice of toast. The other eats 3 eggs and a bowl of Greek yogurt. Fast forward 6 months, the first person feels weaker, slower, and has lost visible tone in their legs. The second feels stronger, steadier, and even notices better posture and balance. That's not coincidence, that's biology. The person who ate protein first told their body to protect its muscle tissue every single morning. The one who skipped it told their body to burn muscle to fuel the day. This is why the first meal of the day matters so much more than people realize. It's not about losing weight or counting calories. It's about survival and quality of life. Protein in the morning also helps balance your hormones. After 60, you naturally produce less growth hormone and testosterone, both critical for maintaining muscle. But eating protein stimulates a mild but meaningful release of insulin, which in turn helps shuttle amino acids into your muscle cells where they're used to build and repair. This process keeps your metabolism alive and prevents the sluggishness that often comes with aging. Without enough morning protein, your muscles don't get that anabolic signal, and your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat and harder to build strength. Over time, this hormonal stagnation creates a dangerous cycle. Less muscle leads to less activity leads to more weakness, and eventually that weakness turns into frailty. But one powerful choice, eating protein early, can interrupt that cycle before it starts. Many people think can get their protein later in the day and it will make up for it, but it doesn't work like that. The body has a limited window of opportunity for muscle protein synthesis, and for older adults, that window opens widest in the morning. When you miss that chance, your body simply can't catch up later. Even if you eat a big dinner full of protein, the muscle building machinery doesn't activate the same way it does in the morning. This is why shifting your protein intake to breakfast can completely transform how your body feels and functions in just a few weeks. You're no longer working against your biology, you're working with it. Another crucial point is that eating protein first doesn't just preserve muscle. It also stabilizes your blood sugar and energy levels throughout the day. High-protein breakfasts slow down digestion, keeping your glucose levels steady and preventing that mid-morning crash that so many people mistake for fatigue or aging. Stable blood sugar also means less inflammation, better focus, and a stronger immune system, all of which help your body repair muscle tissue even more effectively. Your legs, which carry your body every single day, are the biggest beneficiaries of this shift. Strong legs mean independence, freedom, and confidence. Weak legs mean dependence, fragility, and a higher risk of falls or injury. So every morning when you choose what to eat first, you're making a long-term investment in your independence. For those who think they don't have time to prepare a full breakfast, there are simple solutions. A scoop of whey protein in water or milk, a boiled egg with Greek yogurt, or even a tofu smoothie with nuts can do wonders. What matters is consistency. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs reliability. If you nourish it properly each morning, it will reward you with vitality, strength, and the ability to move through life with confidence. The goal isn't to eat more, it's to eat smarter. To give your body exactly what it needs when it needs it most. So every morning when you wake up and look in the mirror, remember this: your muscles are waiting for you to make a choice. You can feed them and preserve your strength, or you can neglect them and watch your power fade slowly, almost imperceptibly over time. The people who stay strong after 60 aren't lucky, they're intentional. They understand that the first thing they put in their body each morning isn't just breakfast. It's a message to their muscles that says, stay alive, stay strong, keep me moving. And that simple act of eating protein first can make the difference between aging passively and aging powerfully. Leucine is the master key that unlocks your body's muscle-building machinery, and most people have no idea how powerful it really is until they begin to lose strength and mobility. When you're over 60, your body no longer responds to protein the way it once did. The same amount of food that used to keep you toned and strong now barely maintains your muscle tissue, and that's because your muscle cells become resistant to the signal that tells them to grow. That signal is controlled by one amino acid more than any other: leucine. Leucine doesn't just nourish your body, it activates a molecular switch inside your cells called the mTOR pathway. This pathway is what tells your body to start building new muscle proteins, repairing tissue, and protecting the fibers that keep your legs strong. Without enough leucine, your muscles simply never get the message to rebuild. No matter how much protein you eat or how hard you try to stay active, think of leucine like the ignition key of a car. You can fill the tank with fuel, protein from eggs, chicken, or lentils, but if you don't turn the key, the engine doesn't start. That's what happens when you eat meals that are low in leucine. The fuel is there, but the spark never happens. Your muscles remain dormant, and instead of repairing, they continue breaking down. This is why older adults who eat the same diet as when they were younger still lose muscle. Their bodies need a stronger signal, a higher threshold of leucine, to kickstart muscle protein synthesis. In younger people, even small amounts of protein trigger growth. But after 60, your body becomes what scientists call anabolically resistant. That means it takes more protein, and specifically more leucine, to achieve the same muscle building effect. Without it, the scale may not change, but inside your body, your muscle fibers are quietly shrinking, replaced by fat and connective tissue that cannot generate strength. When you consume leucine-rich foods, something incredible happens at the cellular level. The leucine molecules enter your bloodstream, travel to your muscle fibers, and bind to receptors that activate mTOR, the muscle growth signal. Once mTOR is switched on, your cells begin synthesizing new proteins, tiny building blocks that repair and strengthen your muscle tissue. This process not only prevents muscle loss, but can actually reverse it over time. The beauty of leucine is that it works like a language your body still understands perfectly, even in older age. It tells your muscles, stay alive, stay functional, stay strong. And when you give your body this signal every single day, the difference in your strength, posture, and energy is visible within weeks. Leucine is abundant in certain natural foods, and they are not complicated or expensive. Eggs, especially the whites, are one of the best sources, containing around 500 milligrams of leucine per egg. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lean poultry like chicken or turkey, fish like salmon and tuna, and plant sources such as lentils, soybeans, tofu, and tempeh are all excellent ways to meet your leucine needs. For most adults over 60, you need around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to trigger optimal muscle growth. That usually means about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein in one sitting. It's not about eating more often or eating more food. It's about eating smarter, choosing foods that give your muscles the signal they desperately need to rebuild. Imagine this scenario. One person eats a breakfast of oatmeal, toast, and fruit, while another eats 2 eggs and a cup of Greek yogurt. Both meals may have similar calories, but the leucine difference is enormous. The first meal might only provide 0.5 grams of leucine, too little to trigger muscle repair, while the second provides nearly 3 grams, enough to fully activate muscle protein synthesis. Over weeks and months, this difference compounds. The person eating leucine-rich foods keeps their leg muscles firm, their gait stable, and their energy high. The other gradually loses strength, struggles to rise from chairs, and begins to feel older than their years. The difference isn't fate, it's biochemistry. When you eat leucine-rich foods, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're communicating with them. Your body listens to what you eat. Each bite either sends a message of strength or a message of decline. Leucine says, build. Sugary breakfasts and low-protein meals say, break down. You decide what message you send every time you sit down to eat. That's why timing and choice matter so much, especially for people over 60. When you give your body leucine first thing in the morning, you immediately flip on that muscle-building switch and set the tone for the rest of the day. Your energy levels stabilize, your metabolism ignites, and your muscles begin using every bit of protein efficiently. But if you wait until late afternoon or evening, the signal weakens. By that time, your body is more focused on repair and rest, not rebuilding, and much of that protein ends up being used for other metabolic processes instead of muscle synthesis. The science behind leucine's power is compelling. Multiple studies have shown that older adults who consume higher amounts of leucine daily retain more muscle mass and strength compared to those who do not. Research from the University of Texas found that leucine-enriched meals led to a 25% greater activation of muscle protein synthesis in adults over 60 compared to standard protein meals. That means you could be eating the same amount of protein as before, but without enough leucine, you're missing out on nearly a quarter of your muscle building potential. This is one reason why athletes and bodybuilders focus so much on leucine intake. It's the trigger that makes all the other nutrients work more effectively. For older adults, this same principle applies, but it becomes even more vital because the body's natural anabolic response is weaker. Leucine also plays a powerful role in protecting your metabolism. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. It burns calories even at rest. When you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat, especially around the belly and thighs. This extra fat, in turn, releases inflammatory molecules that further break down muscle, creating a vicious cycle of weakness and fatigue. But leucine stops that cycle by maintaining your lean muscle tissue, keeping your metabolism high, and allowing your body to use energy efficiently. That's why people who consistently consume leucine-rich meals often report not only feeling stronger, but also lighter, more energetic, and more stable throughout the day. Leucine's benefits go beyond muscle and metabolism. It helps regulate blood sugar by improving how your body responds to insulin. Strong muscles act as a reservoir for glucose, pulling sugar out of your bloodstream and storing it for energy. When you lose muscle, that system weakens, leading to higher blood sugar and increased risk of diabetes. But when you eat leucine-rich protein regularly, your muscles stay active and responsive, keeping your glucose levels steady and reducing your risk of insulin resistance. So in many ways, leucine is not just a nutrient, it's a safeguard for your long-term health and vitality. For people over 60, the most practical way to use leucine is simple. Include a leucine-rich protein source in every meal, but make sure your first meal of the day is especially powerful. That means no skipping breakfast, no relying on sugary cereals or fruit, only smoothies. Instead, aim for eggs, Greek yogurt, chicken, fish, or plant proteins like soy and lentils. If you're short on time, a protein shake made with whey isolate is one of the fastest and most effective ways to get your leucine dose. Whey protein naturally contains a high concentration of leucine, making it one of the best supplements for preserving muscle as you age. Every time you choose a meal with leucine, you're choosing strength over decline, vitality over frailty. You're sending a signal to your body that even though you're aging, you refuse to let your muscles give up. And the truth is, your body listens. It rebuilds, it repairs, it adapts. Within weeks, your balance improves, your legs feel firmer, and daily tasks become easier. That's the miracle of leucine. It reminds your body how to stay strong no matter your age. Timing and consistency are the two invisible forces that decide whether your body stays strong after 60 or begins to slowly deteriorate. And most people overlook how deeply these two simple habits shape their physical future. You can eat all the right foods, take every supplement, and even exercise, But if you don't give your body what it needs at the right time and in a consistent rhythm, your muscles will continue to weaken, your balance will fade, and your energy will keep dropping. The timing of your nutrition, especially protein intake, is not just a detail, it is the difference between building and losing muscle. After the age of 60, your body's ability to process and utilize protein declines, which means that when you eat it becomes just as important as how much you eat. Your muscles have what scientists call an anabolic window, a period during which they are most responsive to amino acids, the building blocks of protein. This window opens widest in the morning after you've been fasting through the night. That's the moment when your muscles are desperately waiting for a signal to rebuild. If you give them protein during that window, they respond with strength and growth. If you delay it or skip breakfast, that window closes and your muscles remain in a catabolic state, continuing to break down throughout the day. Consistency amplifies this effect even more. Your body thrives on rhythm, it expects signals at the same times each day. When you feed your muscles the right fuel consistently, your body becomes efficient at using it. It learns to anticipate nourishment and begins to rebuild predictably, maintaining a steady cycle of repair. But when your eating schedule is erratic, skipping breakfast one day, eating late the next, your body becomes confused. The signals to build and repair become weaker, and muscle preservation slows down. It's like watering a plant at random times. It survives for a while, but it never thrives. Muscles behave the same way. They need regular care, a steady pattern of nutrition and movement to stay alive and responsive. This is why older adults who maintain consistent meal timing tend to have stronger legs, better endurance, and improved balance compared to those who eat irregularly. Their bodies have learned to expect nourishment, and that predictability keeps the muscle-building machinery running smoothly. When you eat protein early in the day and repeat that pattern daily, your body begins to prioritize muscle retention. The protein you eat in the morning not only stimulates muscle protein synthesis, but also sets off hormonal signals that influence your entire metabolism for the rest of the day. It regulates your insulin sensitivity, stabilizes blood sugar, and improves how efficiently your body burns calories. Missing that morning meal isn't just missing food, it's missing the metabolic reset that keeps your energy high and your muscles protected. Every day you skip, you weaken that rhythm. Every day you maintain it, you strengthen it. Over weeks, this consistency becomes a shield against frailty, protecting you from the gradual muscle wasting that robs so many people of their independence as they age. Your muscles remember patterns. The body is designed to adapt to whatever you repeatedly do. If you repeatedly eat low-protein meals or skip breakfast, your muscles adapt by reducing the amount of protein they synthesize. If you consistently give them high-quality protein at regular intervals, they adapt by maintaining and even increasing muscle mass. This adaptation is powerful because it works silently. You won't feel it after one day, but over time, your legs become stronger, your steps feel lighter, and you notice that you can do things you thought you'd lost the ability to do. That's the magic of consistency. It doesn't shout, but it transforms you slowly and permanently. The reason timing and consistency matter so much more after 60 is because your body's natural anabolic response weakens with age. When you were younger, you could eat protein anytime and your muscles would respond. But now the same amount of protein won't have the same effect unless you give it during the right periods of the day. The morning hours are when your body's cortisol levels are naturally higher, and that hormone, while useful for energy, also promotes muscle breakdown. Eating protein during this time neutralizes that effect and shifts your body into a state of repair instead of breakdown. Without that morning protein, cortisol continues breaking down muscle tissue for energy, and your body begins burning the very tissue you need to stay strong. That's why timing is not optional, it's biological precision. Think about how your day unfolds when you start it with a protein-rich meal versus when you don't. When you eat protein in the morning, say eggs, yogurt, or a protein shake, you feel full, alert, and strong. Your muscles are fed, your brain is sharp, and your metabolism stays steady. But if you skip and rely on coffee, toast, or fruit, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes, leaving you tired and craving more food. That crash is not just in your energy, it's in your muscle activity too. Your body doesn't have the amino acids it needs, so it starts pulling them from your muscles. Over time, those small daily breakdowns add up to visible weakness, thinner legs, slower reflexes, and loss of balance. That's how decline happens, not in big events, but in small daily neglects of timing and consistency. For older adults, muscle loss is not a sudden event, it's a slow erosion caused by years of missing the right signals. But the good news is, this erosion can be stopped and even reversed by rebuilding those daily patterns. Start each day with your protein and do it every single morning, no exceptions. Within 2 weeks, your energy will feel more stable. Within 4 weeks, your legs will feel firmer. Within 8 weeks, your balance will noticeably improve. That's how powerfully the body responds to consistent nourishment. It doesn't care about age, it cares about signals. If you give it the signal to grow, it will grow. If you neglect that signal, it will fade. Consistency also helps your digestion, your sleep, and your energy recovery. When your meals are predictable, your digestive system releases enzymes more efficiently, Your hormones regulate in sync, and your muscles repair during sleep more effectively. Your body becomes a well-timed system where everything works together. Irregular eating, on the other hand, disrupts this harmony, causing bloating, fatigue, and poor nutrient absorption. This is why some people feel tired even when they're eating well. Their body never knows when to expect nourishment, so it never optimizes for it. The same goes for hydration, exercise, and rest. The body is a creature of rhythm, and muscle preservation depends on keeping that rhythm steady. Timing and consistency also play a mental role. When you commit to a consistent morning routine that includes protein, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're building discipline. Every day you follow that pattern, you reinforce a message in your mind: I am in control of my health. That message rewires your brain, giving you confidence, stability, and motivation to move more. Eat better and take care of yourself, and that mental momentum fuels your physical progress. The people who stay strong after 60 are not just physically disciplined, they are mentally consistent. They don't guess or skip, they commit. They understand that the small, daily actions they take before 9 a.m. determine how well they age. Another reason consistency matters is because your body doesn't store amino acids like it stores fat or carbs. You can't eat a big protein meal once a day and expect it to last. Your muscles need a steady supply throughout the day to repair and rebuild continuously. This is why eating protein regularly, not just once, is essential for maintaining leg strength and mobility. By spacing your protein intake morning, midday, and evening, you ensure that your muscles never go hungry. You create a steady flow of amino acids, keeping your body in an anabolic or muscle-building state for longer periods. This approach maintains muscle density, improves recovery, and prevents the weakness that leads to falls and injuries. In the end, timing and consistency are about respecting your body's natural rhythm and responding to its needs faithfully. Your body has worked tirelessly for decades, and now it needs you to work with it, not against it. Feed it when it's most ready to grow. Nourish it regularly. Treat it like something that still has limitless potential, because it does. When you do that, your muscles will respond in ways that surprise you. You'll feel stronger not just physically but emotionally, knowing that you are in control of how you age. Because aging gracefully isn't about avoiding wrinkles or slowing time. It's about maintaining your strength, independence, and vitality through timing and consistency that never waver.